In July 2009, General Motors issued a press release announcing a new OnStar technology called Remote Ignition Block. The press release stated directly, quote, "Remote Ignition Block will allow an OnStar advisor to send a remote signal to a subscriber's stolen vehicle to prevent the vehicle from restarting once the ignition is turned off." GM trademarked the phrase Remote Ignition Block with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. The trademark application describes the service as, quote, "a service whereby a signal is sent to a motorland vehicle to prevent the vehicle from starting." In 2025, General Motors made OnStar features standard on all 2025 Chevrolet, Buick GMC, and Cadillac vehicles. The remote ignition block feature is included in GM's current stolen vehicle assistance package, documented on the GMC and Chevrolet product pages today. The feature is factory installed, always on capable, and requires no aftermarket device. It is built into the architecture of every new GM truck rolling off the assembly line. That is where the modern truck market stands. Your truck manufacturer holds a registered capability to send a signal to your truck that prevents it from starting. That capability is built into the vehicle at the factory. You did not opt into it. You cannot opt out of it by adjusting a setting. The truck came with it. Today, we are documenting the complete picture of who can remotely disable a truck you own, how those systems work, what the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has said about the abuse of these systems, and which specific trucks exist today where none of this applies. Part 1. The 3 categories of remote shutoff capability operating in America in 2026. Every truck on American roads in 2026 that is connected and financed faces potential remote disable capability from 3 distinct directions. Understanding each one is essential before you can understand why the pre-op truck is categorically different from everything built after it. Category 1 is the manufacturer-installed telematics system. General Motors OnStar with remote ignition block. Ford's connected vehicle services with remote access capabilities. Stellantis' Uconnect system with its telematics box module, documented in the Ram TRX community as a TBM that can be disabled by removing the module and reconfiguring the BCM. These systems use the vehicle's factory-installed cellular modem to receive commands from the manufacturer's server. The commands are transmitted over the cellular network. They do not require the owner's participation. They do not require physical access to the vehicle. They require only that the vehicle's modem is active and that the manufacturer's server sends the signal. GM Authority confirmed that OnStar Remote Ignition Block can prevent the engine from restarting after it has been turned off. GMC's own product page confirms the feature is part of the current Stolen Vehicle Assistance package. The feature was designed for stolen vehicle recovery and requires law enforcement confirmation in the standard use case. But the infrastructure that enables it exists in every connected GM truck today. Category 2 is the lender-installed starter interrupt device. A starter interrupt device, or SID, is a third-party aftermarket device installed on a vehicle by a buy-here, pay-here dealer or subprime lender as a condition of vehicle financing. The device connects to the vehicle's starter circuit. When the lender sends a remote signal, the circuit is interrupted and the vehicle will not start. According to King of Cars TX's November 2024 documentation, CITES allow lenders to remotely disable a vehicle's starter. The device typically combines GPS location tracking with the starter interrupt capability, giving the lender both the ability to locate the vehicle and prevent it from being driven. In January 2024, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's Supervisory Highlights report called out auto lenders for, quote, unfairly engaging devices that interfered with driving, referring directly to starter interrupt devices. The CFPB documented cases where these devices were engaged in ways that created unsafe driving situations. The report identified specific violations in the agency's supervised examinations of auto lending practices. The CFPB versus USASF servicing case in 2024 documented specific enforcement action against a lender for starter interrupt device misuse. These devices can be installed on any vehicle with a starter circuit regardless of model year. A 1988 F-250 with a subprime lender note can have a SID installed just as easily as a 2024 Silverado. The pre-op truck is not immune to a physically installed SID. What it is immune to is the factory-installed remote architecture that makes the manufacturer a permanent party to every starting event for the life of the vehicle. Category 3 is the OTA-capable software architecture. This is the category that changed the remote disable picture permanently. On trucks built after approximately 2015 with factory telematics, the manufacturer's ability to communicate with the vehicle goes beyond the ignition block. Over-the-air software updates can change calibration parameters, disable features, and alter the behavior of systems that govern how the truck runs. As documented in the Ram TreeX forum discussion from November 2025, the Stellantis trucks have a secure gateway module that controls all OBD2 diagnostic access. To modify the TBM settings, the owner must first install an SGW bypass harness. The telematics module is integrated into the vehicle architecture at a level that requires deliberate circumvention to remove its functionality. The truck's software architecture was designed to make manufacturer connectivity persistent. Part 2. What OBD2 has to do with remote disable capability. You might think OBD2 and remote shutoff are separate issues. They are connected at a deeper level than most owners understand. The OBD2 mandate that took effect for the 1996 model year required every vehicle to have a standardized diagnostic port and an engine control module communicating on a standardized protocol. That standardized ECM architecture became the foundation on which telematics systems were built. A telematics control unit communicates with the ECM to access vehicle state data and to send commands that affect vehicle operation. A pre-ob truck has no ECM in the standardized sense. It has no standardized diagnostic port. It has no software architecture into which a telematics command can be received and executed. California's CARBOB 2 fact sheet confirms directly. All 1996 and newer model year gasoline and alternate fuel passenger cars and trucks are required to have OBD2 systems. All 1997 and newer diesel passenger cars and trucks meet OBD2. A 1995 and older truck has neither. There is nothing in its architecture that a telematics server can talk to through a cellular signal. The truck does not have a cellular modem. It does not have a telematics control unit. It does not have an M that receives commands over a network. When the key is off, the truck is electrically inert. No signal from anywhere can change that. This is not a security feature that was added. It is the absence of the architecture that makes remote disable possible. You cannot hack what does not exist. You cannot command a module that was never installed. Part 3. The specific trucks and the specific cutoffs. The pre-ob protection applies to every gasoline and alternate fuel pickup truck built before the 1996 model year. The 1995 and earlier Ford F-150, F-250, and F-350. The 1995 and earlier Chevrolet CK 1500, 2500, and 3500. The 1995 and earlier GMC Sierra 1500, 2500, and 3500. The 1995 and earlier Dodge Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500. The 1995 and earlier Toyota pickup and early Tacoma. The 1995 and earlier Nissan Hardbody D21 series. Every one of these trucks was built before the M architecture and diagnostic standardization that made telematics integration possible. For diesel pickup trucks, the cutoff is the 1996 model year. CARB's OBD2 fact sheet confirms all 1997 and newer diesel passenger cars and trucks are required to meet OBD2 requirements. The 1996 model year diesel trucks occupy a transition position. A small number of 1994 and 1995 model year gasoline vehicles were equipped with OBD2 systems, as noted by CARB's fact sheet. The specific 1996 model year also requires verification because some 1996 trucks were OBD2 equipped and some were still running OBD1 era systems depending on the manufacturer and platform. For absolute certainty, the owner's target is gasoline trucks through the 1995 model year and diesel trucks through the 1996 model year, verifying the specific VIN against OBD2 compliance. Now here is the nuance that completes the picture. A pre-ob truck is immune to factory telematics remote disable. A pre-ob truck is not immune to a physically installed SID from a lender. A pre-ob truck is not immune to a physical GPS tracker installed by a private party. The protection is against remote commands through a cellular network targeting the vehicle's own software architecture. If you pay cash for a pre-ob truck with a clean title, no lender has a legal relationship with your vehicle. No lender has installed a SID. No manufacturer has a telematics account tied to your VIN. The only party with any relationship to that truck is you. That combination of pre-obbed architecture and outright ownership is the most complete protection available in the 2026 vehicle market. Part 4. Why this matters more in 2026 than it did in 2015. In 2015, the OnStar remote ignition block feature existed but was known primarily in the stolen vehicle recovery context. The idea that a manufacturer might prevent a truck from starting for any reason other than theft was theoretical. In 2026, the theoretical has become documented reality in adjacent product categories. John Deere's software key has prevented farmers from starting equipment they purchased outright because an authorized technician had not completed a software authorization routine. The FEFC's January 2025 lawsuit against John Deere documents this as an anti-competitive pattern, not an isolated incident. BMW's 2022 subscription model for heated seats demonstrated that factory-installed hardware can be deactivated remotely by the manufacturer on a payment basis. Toyota's Remote Connect subscription requirement for the physical key fob remote start function demonstrated that a feature physically installed at the factory can be made non-functional by a server in Tokyo. General Motors was found by the FTC to have sold OnStar driving behavior data to insurance companies without meaningful owner consent. That data was collected through the same telematics architecture that enables remote ignition block. The infrastructure that enables beneficial connected services is identical to the infrastructure that enables manufacturer-controlled vehicle access. You cannot have one without the other, because the architecture is the same. The question of whether the manufacturer will use that architecture to control your access to your own truck is a question of business policy, not of technical capability. And business policy changes. Part 5. The CFPB and the documented reality of remote shutoff in use. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's documented record on starter interrupt devices is the most concrete evidence available that remote vehicle disable is not a future concern. It is a present one. The CFPB Supervisory Highlights Report issued in January 2024 documented specific examinations of auto lenders that use starter interrupt devices in ways the Bureau characterized as unfair practices. The CFPB v. USASIF Servicing Enforcement Action in 2024 involves specific documented findings of improper starter interrupt device engagement. The FS Corp's legal analysis published in March 2025 documents specific examples of SID use that the authors characterized as equivalent to wrongful repossession, and identified the CFPB action against USAS-CEF as the relevant enforcement precedent. These are not hypothetical scenarios. They are enforcement cases with named parties, documented practices, and regulatory findings. The starter interrupt device market is large enough to have produced federal enforcement actions. That market installs hardware on vehicles of any age and any model year as a condition of subprime lending. The pre-ob truck avoids the manufacturer telematics channel. It does not avoid the lender hardware channel unless the owner purchases the vehicle for cash and maintains clear title. Part 6. What smart buyers are doing right now. Smart buyers targeting the maximum protection against remote disable are combining two specific strategies. Strategy 1 is acquiring a pre-1996 gasoline or pre-1997 diesel pickup truck with clear lien-free title purchased outright for cash. The cash purchase eliminates the lender relationship entirely. There is no lender to install a SID. There is no financing agreement that gives a third party any legal claim over the vehicle's operability. The pre-obbed architecture eliminates the manufacturer telematics channel. The combination creates a truck that has no party outside the owner with any technical or contractual claim over its ability to start and run. Strategy 2 is verifying the OBD2 status of the specific vehicle before purchase. The 1996 model year includes both OBD1 and OBD2 equipped trucks depending on the manufacturer and engine combination. CARB's OBD2 fact sheet confirms that a small number of 1994 and 1995 vehicles were also equipped with early OBD2 systems. Before purchasing any truck in the 1994 through 1996 model year window, verify the OBD2 status by checking under the hood for the emissions control information label that CARB requires to state OBD2 compliance, or by plugging a standard OBD2 scanner into the diagnostic port location. If the scanner communicates, the truck has OBD2. If it does not communicate, the truck predates the architecture. The manufacturers built remote ignition block in 2009. They made it standard equipment in 2025. They built the subscription seat in 2022. They built the Remote Connect subscription fob in 2018. Every year, the architecture they control grows deeper into the vehicle you are asked to purchase. And every year, the argument for owning a truck that predates that architecture becomes more concrete and more documented. The pre-ob truck does not know your lender's phone number. It does not have an account with OnStar. It does not have a server in Detroit or Tokyo or Munich holding a key to its ignition. When you turn the key, the decision is entirely yours. That is what the word ownership used to mean. And in 2026, it is what the word ownership still means on exactly the trucks that were built before the wall went up. Have you deliberately purchased a pre-ob truck specifically to avoid connected vehicle architecture? What was the make, model, year, and what prompted the decision? Sound off in the comments below because the documented reasons behind this decision are the most important information a first-time buyer in this market needs to hear. If you refuse to own a truck whose ignition can be blocked by a signal from a corporate server, hit the subscribe button and join the resistance. Keep the old iron running. Keep turning your own wrenches. And we will see you in the next one.